Good morning, West Michigan, and welcome to a warmer Wednesday of weather here in West Michigan. I'm Terry DeBoer. This is Matt Kirkwood. We're bringing in the weather team here, not because weather is a huge story, although it's sort of going to be a big story. Playing the part of Rachel today. She had a little tumble at her house last night. She's fine, but she's just keeping a little ice on her knee for now. So we told her, take the day off. We got Matt Kirkwood in here. And
surprise, surprise.
Exactly.
Yeah, it looks pretty good out there. You were talking about weather just a moment ago, and hey, I think most of us are at the stage. I like winter, but I always come to the point where I'm ready to go. All right, it's time to leave it behind. I think I finally reached it. I think the blizzard was the pinnacle for me.
2 weeks ago today.
Yeah,
actually.
2 weeks ago today, and now we're actually have. Temperatures forecasted in the 50s for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we'll come pretty close to it today. And it's remarkable because beginning this weekend, we had our deepest snow depth in a decade. And it may be all gone by later tomorrow.
Isn't that interesting?
Besides the snowbanks, of course.
Well, it was interesting because Rachel was down in Hastings a couple of days ago. She took a little snowshoeing trip down there, and she had reported that there was a lot of the snowpack gone already.
Wow.
And so you talk about those places that have already seen some of the significant melting, and they're really going to be bare here.
Right.
It's going to be just kind of that yucky green, brown
Yes, that's
mud.
my least favorite time of year.
Oh, yeah,
Great time
absolutely.
to take a vacation.
So we're talking about a really exciting night coming off that last night in Grand Rapids on the music scene. One of my favorite parts about 8 West has been that I had no idea, in the 20 years I've been living here in West Michigan, I had no idea how many talented local musicians were living in our midst. And last night we had the Jammy Awards, which is the local version of the Grammys that recognizes these talented musicians and musical groups. And so we sent Joy Walzak out there last night to take some pictures, and we have some of these really great images here. Delilah DeWild and the Lost Boys, they were on 8 West, actually.
I do
they
remember,
performed.
Recently.
She was the lady who, remember this? She plays the bass.
Yes.
And she jumped up on it.
That was a big hit.
I've never seen that before.
The crew loved that.
Oh, yeah, that was wonderful. And here's a guy who was on 8 West just a couple of days ago, Nick Thomasma. Nick and Joy. Nick, of course, also winning a Jammy last night. And we also have Casey Stratton. He was a very talented young guy. He's a singer and also a keyboard player. And so Casey was performing last night. It's a wonderful celebration. And the cornerstone of the event last night, similar to the Grammys, a lot of these musical groups actually perform. So it's one of the best concerts you'll ever get a chance to see.
So double lucky. Most of those, all of them, that played here on 8 West.
Oh, yeah.
How lucky are you? Or we?
And this is a recap, actually, of some of the Jammies.
Okay, we have Song of the Year, Benjamin Riley, I Can See Glory, and Best Album by a new solo artist, Ty. And
that's Nick Thomasma with Barefoot, and Mark Levengood with From Dust to Steel. So it was just really exciting. And the listener's choice for Best Album, Delilah DeWild and the Lost Boys, The Price You Pay. And when they performed, they actually signed a couple of copies of that CD and left them behind for us. So, Matt, I will let you borrow mine, and then you can have a chance to say, I have a copy of that.
Oh, thank you. I'll just burn one. I'm just kidding.
Delilah, he would never steal your music. I'll make sure that. It's interesting because we've been talking a lot about music this week because the Grammys night, and we had a local connection. Pamela DeVos is a very talented local fashion designer, and she's taken her designs all over the world. Pamela Rowland, of course, is her designer label. Well, she actually is on People's Best Dressed list because of this gorgeous outfit worn by Jewel. Jewel is, I think, 5.5 or 6 months pregnant, and so Pamela designed this gorgeous gown for her. It looks stunning, just gorgeous. And Pamela also on Yahoo's Best Dressed list with a B+. So always difficult. That's a really competitive industry, and to get those kinds of accolades is really
That's
pretty
amazing.
remarkable.
That's exactly what I think most designers would look for. That break and all that coverage and publicity. Good for her.
Oh, yeah. And
Congratulations.
it was interesting because I was reading a bunch of information about the parties that lead up to the Grammys. Saturday night, Whitney Houston actually wore one of Pamela's designs. So it's just been really cool.
Keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, the Academy Awards are just around the corner, so it'll be interesting to see which stars are going to be wearing some of Pamela's designs. And I actually posted on our Facebook page yesterday, you'll have to check this out, the Wall Street Journal Online did a big story about how Pamela has kept her family front and center. She spent spends a lot of time in New York, back and forth between Grand Rapids and the New York area, and she has really managed to keep her family together, and she's getting huge praise for doing that, because it's a very challenging industry.
I could well imagine.
Family.
Yeah, so congratulations to her.
Absolutely.